to Virtual Volley Week 2. Thanks for joining us again. And little apologies on the little mix up there, and just appreciate that you're able to re-register and join us for tonight's Zoom. So, growing in numbers from last week, which is great to see. So keep spreading the word. We're back again next week, same time, same place. And we'd love to continue seeing the numbers growing the way they are. So I hope that during the week, everybody had the opportunity to view Mikkel's video, her skills and her tips, and also Jana's fitness circuit. And you got time to sort of work on that throughout the week. If you didn't, they're available on our YouTube channel, Volleyball Ireland, as will tonight's recording. It should be available with you tomorrow afternoon. So if you need to look back, please do so at our YouTube channel, Volleyball Ireland. So for those joining us for the first time tonight, and the format is going to be the same. So what we do is we start the first half hour with a talk from one of our Irish international team players. We've gone from the male team this week. They're going to just go through a general chit chat with us and also give us some skill pointers. And tonight's skill will be on the pass. Then after that, we'll head over to Jana, who again will run us through another fabulous volleyball work guide. So that's it. And that should be our hour then completely taken up. I guess that's enough for me. Look, let's jump straight into the show. Like I said, we've got a great show tonight, and I just want to introduce our guest for tonight. So let me just get this right. So this young man here, as you'll discover over the next 20 minutes, has pretty much nearly done it all. He's the multiple A Division National School finalist. He's the under-21 men's captain. He's also a player on the senior men's team. He's the junior beach volleyball tour winner currently. He's also a Premier League player, and of course, he's a volleyball scholar. Gareth Gilmartin. Gareth, how are you?
Not lost, me know yourself.
Good, good. Thanks for joining us, Gareth. Really appreciate you giving up your time for us.
No worries.
So, Gareth, we have a few questions to get through tonight that the panel would like to see. In particular, as I mentioned, we definitely want to get through to the scholarship stuff. And I know it's going to be of interest to a lot of parents that are listening, but also a lot of young people, and how you went about that. But I guess, look, we start where we always start. Who is Gareth Gilmartin? So maybe just where you're born. I mean, maybe a bit about your family and just a brief background.
Yeah, so I'm Gareth from Drumshanbo, County Leitrim. I went to school, both primary and secondary in Drumshanbo. And then now I'm in the University of Limerick. So family-wise, my mother would have played it in school. But then my uncle, he would have played on the Ireland team as well back in the 1990s, and then went to France with the school for a competition. So volleyball is definitely in the family.
For sure, sounds like it. You mentioned school a few times there. Let's just jump back there. What was your first experience? Was it primary? Was it secondary? Let us know a bit more about your school history there.
So it's sort of when you're in primary school in Drumshanbo in 6th class, I think it's the last 2 or 3 weeks before you go into secondary school, you sort of always do basics of volleyball, so you have a taster before you go into secondary school. So set up the nets in the yard or whatever, and just done your serve and your digging, your setting or whatever. And then whenever you get into secondary school, it obviously progresses to a lot higher level.
Okay, I have to say you definitely came on my radar when I saw you in school volleyball. You'll probably remember, and for anyone who doesn't know, Gareth kind of belongs to an exclusive club. He to win an MVP in an A school final is a huge, massive achievement. But Gareth not only won one, but won 2 in 1 year. Tell us a bit about that, Gareth. How was that year?
It was a hectic year. Like I remember, I think I was in, I was in third year. Was I third year or fourth year? I think it was fourth year. And I was on the senior team anyway, and beforehand it was usually I'd play one set and then another fella would come on play the second set, and then so on. But then in the final I was sort of on a rhythm, like so obviously kept me on, played on, got MVP. But then I was lucky enough to be still part of the cadet A team that same year, so I was young enough to play, and then won that as well. So I got MVP. So it was
Okay, I'll put you on the
nice.
spot here because
That was the 2017-18 year. Yeah, 2017-18 year, and that was the first year that the school had ever won a Senior A, Cadet A, and Junior A All Ireland, in the 1 year. So it was special, like.
okay. I'm going to put you on the spot here because I did do a wee bit of research into the history books, who were obviously put together by one of your old coaches, John King. That year, do you remember who you played, and do you remember the scores?
I know we played St. Bridget's in all the finals, senior, cadet, and junior. Score, senior was 3-1. In the cadet, it was 2-0, and 2-0 in the junior as well.
Okay, and for 10 points, how many points did you score that day in the senior? No, I'm only joking. You never know that.
No.
Good memory, good memory. Obviously a big year for you. And like I say, you kind of announced yourself on the scene for sure in a lot of people's eyes, in UCD and around the place there. Is it your favorite volleyball memory, or do you have another one?
Oh, I'd say any of the wins or any of the All-Ireland final journeys that we had, I'd say they all sort of level off with each other. Like, I wouldn't say I have a set in stone favourite memory. No, that's kind of a
politician answer. Good man. Yeah. Okay, so I want to move out of school. Obviously, a lot of our listeners and viewers here tonight would be involved in the school, but we're trying to build the club scene. You've moved to club volleyball. What are the biggest differences you see between school and club?
Oh, in school volleyball, you're sort of playing like years. It's not as bad as it was in school volleyball now, but you're more so playing against. You could be playing against a team, but they might have only 1 or 2 players that would be unreal. But when you move into club, you're playing a six team, like they're all on the top of their game. So you really do have to be playing well, like, all the time. And that was that's probably what sets school volleyball to club volleyball apart.
Okay. I get the feeling though, and from reading your quote and from knowing you a little bit, that you relish that kind of challenge. You enjoy that.
Oh, I love it.
That level up, yeah?
I love a good game.
Fair enough. Okay, so you've recently joined Galway, so Premier League team. So really at the highest echelons now of Irish volleyball, which is great to see, you coming through and playing in those sorts of levels. Let me just move on to then what I did last week with Mikhail as well. The national team, obviously, you're captain of the under-21s, and you're on the senior men's panel as well. How did you get into that? What was your first experience, your trial? Where was it? Do you remember that? And how did it feel going up there that day?
So the trials it was October 2017. It was actually the same year that we won the Senior A, Cadet A MVPs, but it was in Loughrea, and I suppose I wouldn't say I was nervous. I was sort of calm enough. I just took it as a normal training day. So I went over and luckily got picked, and then with our next training up in Dublin, it sort of just grew from there really. I kept going with our first then weekend up in Gormastown, start of January, and we've been training flat out ever since.
Yeah, just to give everyone the idea, because I don't know the men's program myself personally, but how often do you meet, and sort of what's your schedule look like for training?
So training wise, myself would be maybe five days a week, split obviously into different. So you do a weight session, you do runs, whatever. Ball work is the majority of it, and then technique is another big aspect of, especially with volleyball. Okay,
serious business. And what about the team, the Irish team? Then you go to Gormanstown. You do camps, isn't it? Overnight stays.
Yeah.
Well, how does that work? Every month you kind of head up there and
every month, yeah. So we'd have our first training at about 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning until 1. Then we'd have lunch. back at the training for maybe 4 o'clock, and finish at 6, then dinner. And after dinner, we go to a game viewing. So we watch a game or watch one of our previous games that we played. And then we have a study hour and go to bed. And then Andre wakes us up at 6:30 in the morning to go for a run. So we go for a run, come back, eat breakfast, then start again from 10 o'clock to 12, and then 2 o'clock to 4, then go home.
Okay. And I get the sense, I've kind of been up around them a couple of times. There's a real camaraderie. There's a real, like, the chemistry between the team there, even though, like, you would have faced off against many of your teammates in the school finals, and it's kind of that friendly rivalry. I think when you meet at squads, it's there's a bonding going on there, is there? It's a good feeling.
Definitely, yeah. Like, back when we first started, we were all sort of like, you'd be with your own friends from home and blah, whatever, like. But then sort of as the weeks went on that we were training, we were all sort of mixing, and you'd be in contact with them all the time. Like, you make solid friends doing it, and then anyone that comes into the squad that's been scouted or whatever, we make them feel at home, as if they're coming part of a new family, like. So it's nice.
Do you feel that's a bit more your responsibility as captain? Do you have those kind of duties put on you, or no? Is that just fall onto the whole team?
It follows through, I suppose, with all the players to make someone welcome to the team. But obviously, if they've any issues, whatever, they'll obviously come to me, and I'll raise up a coach, or they'll just go straight to coach.
Okay, super. Thanks for the insight. I want to move on to, I suppose, a really, amazing achievement that you've got this year. You're a volleyball scholar now. So there's plenty I can pick apart from this, and plenty that people would love to listen to. So maybe can you just start by just saying, how you went about getting that scholarship at the beginning?
Yeah. So in UL here, they do it by an application form. So it's the first stage. So you fill out all your details, what you've won, what's your ambitions, where do you see yourself in 4 years, and all that sort of stuff. You submit it, and they'll get back to you. And then if they see you as someone that's going places, they'll ask you to do an interview with them. And then obviously you're going to sit the interview with them, and if you're successful, you'll get the scholarship. But that's only being if you get your course and get your even score points to UL.
Okay, what is a scholarship? Just for anyone who doesn't understand, what does that mean?
So your scholarship is broke up to 3 different levels. So there's gold, silver, and bronze. So gold, you have everything paid for, you're sorted. Silver, you have half of your accommodation sorted, half of your fees, and then your training grant, physio, all that stuff. And then bronze, you get a certain amount of money put towards your accommodation, fees, training grant, sports science, physio, gym, all that sort of stuff. It's nice.
Good benefits. Okay, so yeah, look, anybody out there that's interested, these do exist, as Gareth is living proof that we can get volleyball scholarships to universities around Ireland. You just need to work at it. So you haven't been able to play though university this year?
No, it's a pity. I was looking forward to universities, but unfortunately not.
Hopefully next year anyway. Thanks for that. So look, moving again from indoor to beach. So you dabble in a bit of beach volleyball. I've seen you out on the beach. You enjoy the beach?
I don't mind it. It's all right on a good sunny day, but if it's rainy and windy, it's miserable enough.
Gareth, we're here to sell beach volleyball. Come on, let's sell it. No, look, listen, everyone knows Ireland. We all know our climate, but it's an opportunity off season to stay involved. Do you see the benefits of playing beach? And does it bring anything to your indoor game?
Oh, definitely, by a long shot. Like, playing on sand is probably the most draining thing. It's the best strength conditioning you could ever do. When you come off playing on the sand, number one, you're going to be jumping higher because you're playing on a uneven surface. So when you go into play on a wooden floor, like, you're going to be fair springy. And reactions. Beach volleyball, it's a 2-man game, so you have to read the game a lot more closer. And I think that brings a lot back into playing indoor. Your IQ is that bit better, and being able to read the game and how it's going to pan out.
Yeah, certainly, definitely do agree. And hopefully, look, obviously the indoor is tricky, but hopefully we get to see some sort of beach program this summer if the restrictions can. And like last year, we'll regionalize for the guys out there. Hopefully, get into your areas with some sort of program if we can. Look, another thing I wanted to speak about and what our sport can offer people is, we're a global sport. Yeah, so no, we're visible in France, Germany, Asia, Americas, So you've been away, you've played away. Just to tell the viewers again, have you got a favorite trip that you went on through volleyball, and maybe just tell us a little bit about that?
So, favorite trip with volleyball was definitely the Flying Scots International Tournament in Scotland. We went in 2019, August 2019, with the under 19 squad. We were we knew we were in a good enough position, so we played as hard as we could, and lucky enough we came back with a bronze medal for all our hard work. So it was a nice way to put a nice cap in.
Fantastic achievement. And is it just to sort of dig a bit deeper, because I wasn't there unfortunately, but what's it like outside of the actual games, at an event like that? I mean, do you stick to your rooms? Do you have team meetings? How does that all work? Or do you just be very relaxed, get out and about and take in the sights?
I suppose when you're away at a tournament, looking around and go sightseeing is probably the last thing on your list. I'd say if number one, you wouldn't have time, and then second of all, you're sort of screwed down to make sure that you're ready for your games or whatever. But the way it worked out in Scotland was we went to St Andrews and we boarded there in the university dorms or whatever, and we also played in the gym. So we got up, ate in the canteen area, went to play our game or whatever games we had on that day, and we had that Friday and the Saturday, and then Sunday we got into the bronze final, played it. It's a tight enough game with, I think it was Scotland West or East, and won. So we were all happy and then came home. Okay. But when we were there, we were lucky enough to, St Andrews was right beside the coast. So we got to go down to the coast and went through the golf course or whatever, and much for a nice a slow-mo jog on the beach.
Fair enough. You were supposed to go away this year with the Irish team. That was where were you headed to?
We were heading for Luxembourg for the European Championships.
Do you know who you were up against then?
San Marino, Luxembourg, and I think Belgium was going to be there as well.
Oh, okay. Hopefully that's just a postponement and we'll get there soon. Which leads me on to, I suppose, coming towards the end. What are your hopes then for 2021? I know you were discussing a camp in France, but maybe you want to tell us a bit more about what you're sort of hoping for this year or maybe into next year.
So obviously, number one priority is to stay fit and get stronger, faster, and for volleyball whenever we get to resume. Then lucky enough, I was fortunate enough that I was picked to go to France, Tournarbonne for a 2-week training camp with a professional team. So obviously I'm looking forward to that whenever COVID lets us do it. But then if the club scene, if we can get back a club, I'd love to give Galway a good run in the Premier League and hopefully come back with a medal or two.
Super. Okay, so you're going to go on to your skills video in just a second. So Gareth has kindly put together a video on passing and give you some pointers for everyone. We're just going to watch that. It's a couple of minutes long. And like I said, it'll be available in the recording, which will be available on our YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. So just before I do get into that, we don't let our guest speakers go without a couple of quick fire questions. So you don't know these questions, so just shout out the first thing that comes to your mind, okay? Right. Dream holiday destination?
Canada.
Favorite sports star?
Ngapet.
Okay. Favorite musician or band?
Oh, jeez. Oh, I don't have one.
Okay. Countryside or city?
Countryside.
And the last one, box day, yes or no?
Oh, yeah, yes.
So in case the rest of the country are listening, do you want to enlighten people on what a box day is?
So box day is, you can only get it in Leitrim.
It's kind of like a
Tasty
tweet of
stuff.
you. Good man, good man. Okay, I'm going to share the screen here. So Gareth, you go on to mute, and I'll share the screen. Hopefully it just comes up there for me. So let's see this. Okay. So Norma, hopefully you can hear sound. If you can't, please let me know.
So today's skill is going to be digging, and first thing I'm going to show you is how to position your hands. So what we're going to do is we're going to put hands over hand, we're going to roll our thumbs in, lock our wrists down, and then lock out our elbows. So in here is where we're going to pass the ball. It's a nice straight surface. So I'll show you like this. So hands over each other, lock in your wrists, or your thumbs, lock out your wrists down, and then out with your elbows. And we're passing in here on the inside of the arm. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the ball. We're going to use our same platform like before. We're just going to keep the ball up steps of 3. So 1, 2, 3, right? And then when you're doing it, you're keeping your arms out straight and you're keeping them here all the time. And you're just using your legs to drive the ball up every time. So we'll go again. 1, 2, 3. Now we're on to our next one, and we're going to go with one hand, just using the inside of our arm here, as if we're passing with our 2 hands, but we're just using the one. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Now we're on to the other arm. 1, 2, 3. Go again. 1, 2, 3. The other one. 1, 2, 3. So we're now going to go off both arms, just using one side, and we're going to keep going as the ball drops. So 1. So now that you've that done, you can up it a bit, and we're going to start using the wall. So you're going to be using the same, down low, and you're just going to keep going. Driving up with your legs all the time. Keeping your platform nice and straight. So we're now going to go and use the inside of our arm with one hand up against the wall. So it's going to look like this. We're going to do it 3 times on each and catch the ball and do the other side. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go up to the other one. 1, 2, 3. And if you want to, you can go simultaneously off both arms. So 2. There's a few skills on digging. Hope you enjoyed it, and keep practicing. The rest of this lockdown, and we'll go back and forth shortly. So today's skill is going to
Can't get it to stop, Gareth. Okay.
what we're going to do is
Let me just give you a second.
hand.
Okay, Gareth, thank you so much for that. And for everyone out there, please, like I said, the video will be available for you. Take it, use it, refer to it, work on your skills, slowly progress over the week, and we'll be back here next week with a new guest speaker and some new skills for you to work on. But there's plenty there to go for like I said, the next 7 days. Just to say then, Gareth, thanks so much for joining us. It's hard to believe how much you've achieved and how young you are so far. So it's just going to be amazing to see what happens over the next number of years and where your career progresses to. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for your insight, and thanks for your time this evening.
Thank you. Thanks for
Norma, I'm going to pass over to you now, so you can take the mic.
Yeah, thanks very much, Gareth. Great insight, and certainly a bright future ahead of you. I also liked your little plug there for beach volleyball and how it's a very good tool for strength and conditioning, which leads us on into our next guest, Jana Langford, who is going to take us through a volleyball circuit. So Jana, what do you have in store for us this week?
Hello, everybody, and have a good evening. Thank you very much for welcoming me, and thank you for Gareth. It was very, very interesting. I have a soft spot for UL. I was studying in UL, this beautiful university, great campus and great sport facilities. So in terms of tonight, firstly, I hope you enjoyed last time. It was only 30 minutes, but we tried to squeeze really good warm up, really good cool down. And then we had a really good workout that was divided between, I suppose, cardio and strengthening conditioning that is very specific for volleyball. So we'll continue in the same spirit, I suppose, because I would really like for everyone who does the workout to kind of get into the routine. So whatever sport you are doing, whatever exercise, really get into your head that I do really have to warm up the muscle because you want to prevent any injuries in the future. And also people tend to, after the exercise, to swoosh and go home, and really it's really important again to stretch and cool down the muscle again to prevent injuries. So yeah, so we'll continue with the same routine, and in terms of our cardio and strength conditioning, we are going to do 2 sets today. I hope you've done a little bit of exercise in between. So we are going to do 2 sets of 10. So it's going to be maybe slightly tougher, but again, if you can't continue, just either take a break or try to maybe just hold in the position. Okay, if you are doing plank or something like that, okay? And the most important thing, I hope you get to enjoy yourselves, okay? So we'll start. Hopefully you have comfortable clothes, you have a mat, and you need a glass of water, okay? I'm just gonna take off my jumper, and I'm gonna check that you can see me on the camera. I'm gonna start the clock for 30 minutes. And I'll just check the music, make sure that you can both hear me and hear the music. And here we are. Sorry, just bear with me. Yeah.
She's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. At night she's screaming, mama.
Start with our warm-up.
She's hot but a psycho. She's right though. At night she's screaming, mama. Make you
To the other side.
see a blessing.
Good.
Be sure.
Now start rolling your shoulders away from you.
Back for second. With your
The
play.
other direction.
You just can't help it.
Remember your breathing. It's really important. Breathe in, breathe out.
Let her lead you on.
Now we start to turn our shoulders.
No, them saying yes, 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 cause you're messing
The
with
other
your
direction.
head. Oh, she's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. At night she's screaming, my mind. Oh, she's hot but a psycho, so let her she's right
Now
though.
both your
At night
hands.
she's screaming,
Nice and wide circle. And the other direction.
People say run.
Now remember our wrist.
She's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho.
Our
At night
elbows.
she's screaming, my mind.
Nice
So
wide
someone
circle.
said, don't drink her potion.
Good.
Kiss
The
your
other way.
leg with no emotion. When she's
Remember, breathe
mean,
in.
you know you love it. Taste so sweet, don't sugarcoat it now.
Now we're gonna try to go each direction. One to the front, one to the back. Really good for coordination. Now the other direction. Okay. And the other direction. Now we're gonna work on our legs, warm them up again. Hold on to something nearby, fireplace. Nice and slow, and start moving your legs. Front, back, front, back. Nice, do a knee favor down. Nicely. Front and back. Good. front and back. Good. Very good. Okay. Now just shake your arms, shake your feet, and try to make few free deep breaths in and out. In and out. In and out. Okay, we're going to start to move to our cardio. So we start with gentle runs, just to try to get to the rhythm.
Do you ever feel like a misfit? Everything inside you is dark and twisted.
Remember your breathing.
Oh, but it's okay to be different, 'cause baby, so am I.
Now you can try to just pick up your heels for a while. Go to one for 20 seconds.
Feel her eyes all over you like cheap perfume. You're beautiful, but misunderstood. So why you trying to be just like the neighborhood? I can see it, I know what you're feeling.
Keep it up.
So let me tell you about my little secret.
And remember your breathing.
I'm a little crazy underneath this.
Now we're going to move with our feet. Sorry, with our
Do you feel like a misfit? Everything inside you is dark and twisted. Oh, but it's okay to be different, 'cause baby, so am
another
I.
10 seconds. Relax all the way up. I hope you will jump.
You don't have to fit into the form.
Good.
Okay to be
Just catch your
different,
breath.
'cause baby, so
And
am
shake your arms. Shake your legs. Good.
So dress up fancy.
Grab the water if you want.
I can kill a queen, gotta
Now
get
we're going to go and do our circle.
baby, come pass me a line.
Yeah? Remember your circle? Check in with pressure
The
then.
sins and the blessings, I can see it, I know what you're feeling. So let me tell you about my little secret. I'm a little crazy underneath this. Underneath this.
Remember the breathing.
Feel like a misfit. Everything inside you is dark and twisted.
Very good. Take a little break.
Cause baby, so am I.
Very good.
You don't have to fit into
Okay.
the format.
Now you're going to go into our quads. Especially for passing. If you want to do really good passing, you constantly like this. Yeah? Now passing the ball, you are using your legs and so on. So we're just going to do our sorry. Stay low, stay low. I know it's burning, but stay low. Do a little bit of something like that. You can even try to move forward. You can move back. I know it's burning, but this is where the muscle develops. And as I said, this is excellent exercise for your passing. Yeah, you need that. Hang on there for another few seconds. Very good. And roll up and shake it. Very good. Okay, now we are going to go into our burpees. Favorite exercise. So if you remember the burpees, we're going to go down. We are going to go into our Superman pose. So I'm just going to go down. You do your press up. You pull your arms up and your legs. You hold on for a while and you lift up yourself up and you jump. Okay, you're going to try to do 10 of them. Deep breath. Okay, and let's go. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's the hardest. Keep it up. You're nearly there. 6, 7, 8, last 2. Very good. You find it okay? Okay. Then you grab a little water. Drink some exercise for the last 10 minutes. Hydration is important. We'll come back to both circles. Good. So next we are going to go into our plank. Again, plank is excellent in terms of your core, in terms of the upper strength. So you need your upper strength for hitting, for serving, and you need your core for any type of activity or strap where you get your power from and you prevent injuries to over exercising your shoulder. Okay, so we are going to go into the plank. You're holding on in the plank. Okay? Now what you're going to go is you go last jump. You're going to go down into the lower plank. You're going to lift our feet once. Clear the other foot up. We're going to lift our gossip up. And that's our 1 set. We're going to try to do 10 sets. And we are going to alternate arms we are using to push ourselves up. Okay? Again, if you find it tough, at least stay in the plank if you can. Okay? Let's go. 1. Feet up. Push yourself up. Good. Now, 2. Feet up. Push yourself up. 3. 4. 5. I know it hurts, but that's where it's getting stronger. 6. Keep it up. Last 4. Remember breathing. Breathe in, and if you go down, breathe out. I think we are on 7. Going on 8. Keep it up, last 2. 9. And up. Very good. Well done. That wasn't easy, but that means you were in the plank for over a minute. Plus you were holding there, you were using your core, and you were lifting your feet. It's good for your back muscles as well. Grab some water. Now if you have a bowl, you don't have to have a bowl. Do you have one? We're going to do one more plank, and then we're going to go to work on our core. And we'll do more on our bottom as well. So what we're going to do is, we're just going to stay in the plank, and we're going to plank, and we're going to go and try to touch the bowl. Okay? So that's our 1 set. So we're going to try to do 10 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on in that plank. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Okay. Hold on. Take a break. Take those arms. Take a few deep breaths. And then whoever is brave enough, if you want to try to do 5 push-ups, you can do either the regular push-up, so if you're in the plank, as a demonstrate, you can do narrow arms, go all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, or you can be on your knees and you can go up this way. That means you're still working on your muscles and on these muscles as well, and getting the core strength for upper body, for hitting, serving, and so on. So you can choose which way you want. It's not important. The most important thing is nice control and good technique. Okay, so we'll go down and we'll go up. So you breathe in And you breathe out. You breathe in. You breathe out. You breathe in. You breathe out. You breathe in. I think that's 5. Very good. Take your arms. That was good. Deep breath. And you're going to go forward a little bit more on core. You've done that exercise before, it's called Russian twist. So we're going to raise our arms. Oh, sorry, we're going to raise our legs. You're going to lift our, cuddle our ball, and you're going to try to move it to the right and to the left. You're working on your flexibility, and you're working on your core. So let's do this in one step. So we do 2, 3, 4, 5, hold on, 6, 7, 8. Remember breathing. It's tempting not to breathe when your tummy is sore. 8, 9, 10. Well done. Take your legs. This is excellent exercise. We have 15 minutes. We'll do it one more time. Ready? So, keep up. Getting ready with your volleyball. So one more. 1, 2. If you lose balance, it doesn't matter. Just try to get back into the position. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. It should hurt at the moment, so that's good. Did you grab a little bit of drink? Now we are going to do the bridge. That's we are working on our glutes and all these muscles. Again, they are important, especially when passing. It's your glutes and also these muscles you need to get off the volleyball. Okay? So the way you do your bridge, you just sit on the floor. You try to have your feet close to your fingertips. You try to lift up. And you're going to do the step of 10 again. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now hold on for another 10. Push up and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. And you can kind of press your legs against your chest. Hold the fold, which is excellent. Just to give a little bit of stretch to your back, especially your lower back. Or you can go wider. You can spread your legs. You can lift them like this, and you can press your legs towards your chest or towards your core. But I'm not your woman when my lipstick pops and I feel like Monroe. That's when you want me most. Okay. So we have 12 minutes. So I'm going to give you, I suppose, stretches, but there are yoga stretches that involve strengthening of your body as well. They are very, very good and very helpful to learn. Okay? One of them is the balance pose. Again, on volleyball, when you're passing, you've got to have a quick feet, and we're working on our quick feet all the time. Okay? But when you get to the ball, you have to stay stable. You can't just start, yes? So you're passing up to be stable. So stability is also very important. So one exercise for stability is you choose one leg and you try to move this way on your leg. It's slightly bent. It's going to be moving, it's shaking, but that's okay. You do airplane. The best way for balance is pick one spot. It could be on the floor, on the wall, and you just stare at that spot and try to hold. Well done. Super, and you should feel really nice stretch. Good. Let's try the other one. You might find that the other leg might be different, but that's okay. Again, take a spot. Slowly, nice stretch, nice lovely aeroplane. And hold. Hold for another 10. It's okay. You can go back. Try to go. Well done. That's great. Super. Okay. Next pose is you're just going to go one leg forward. And you're going to go. Sorry, can you see me? I'll go so you can see me properly. You're going to there. You're going to try to go nearly as close to the ground, but you're not touching the ground. Okay? So that means we are getting really nice stretch here, but we are also working on our quads. And you can stretch nicely high up, and you can bend a little bit to the whatever leg you're using when you rise. Yeah. And hold. Good. Yeah. Very good. Now the other leg, again all the way down, not touching the ground. Again, it's strengthening exercise, but also flexing. So again, nicely reach for the stars. As soon as you find your stability, slowly try to run to the other side.
Empty mansion in the ranges off the coast.
So the advantage of the yoga poses are you're working every single muscle in your body.
Like a spider.
Good.
There's a
Well
web
done.
that you have won.
Now we are going to go to our downward dog.
So
again, firstly we are going to start with the down fall. Just easy down fall. You can bend your knees a little bit if you want.
Now I hear sounds in the hallway.
Touch the ground.
Rocking chairs, I'm
You can do
moving
ragdoll
on their
first.
own.
You can
I'm
hold your elbows and just turn left and right.
so that it's freaking me out. So much so that it's freaking me out. So much so that it's freaking me.
And again, breathe. It's really important. With every breath out, you prolong the muscles and deepen the stretch. Okay, now we're going to touch the floor and slowly walk into our downward dog. Okay? So then you want to have your feet about the distance of your hips. Which if you don't know, you can put your arms like that. That's your distance of your hips. So that's about the width you want to have your legs and your arms. You stick your bum out and just hold. And you can paddle your legs a little bit to get a really nice stretch. Then we're going to go to our pigeon pose. Again, be very careful. You're going to cross your leg. And you're going to slowly sit into it. You can see me. Just lift yourself up now. It's very, very slow if you're not flexible. You don't want to cause any injuries. And if you're a little bit more comfortable, you can start going down. And try to touch with your forehead ground and just relax. And breathe. Nice few deep breaths.
I'm moving on their own, I'm falling for you. So much so that it's freaking me out.
Now slowly up. We go back to our downward dog. It should be kind of our relaxing pose. And now the other pose. The other leg. Drop it. And slowly sit into it. Very slowly. And now slowly go down. And you can touch the ground with your forehead. And again, just breathe in and breathe out. And wait for that muscle to relax. Good.
did extraordinary
Go up.
archaeological discoveries.
Now another really good stretch I want to show you is the cat. So you go on your floor. Okay. And imagine cats, what cats do. If they don't like something, they go up. And you know you're not supposed to touch them. And you breathe in. And now you go down. And that's where you breathe out. And again. Push that. And breathe out. And one more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Well, we are here. Really good stretch again for the volleyballers. When you want to stretch your arms, is if you are in your cat pose, you stretch your arms and you put your. You're not gonna sit on your back, but you just push into the arms. You will feel it. You should feel a really nice stretch on your arms. And if you want, you can slowly with your arms go to the right. And you feel really nice stretch on the left-hand side. And now you can again couple with your arms and go to the right. And again, really, really nice stretch. Good. Another good stretch for arms for the volleyballers. If you are in this position, you use your left hand and you go underneath, and you're going to do a really nice deep twist. So you're twisting this way, and if you want, you can stretch your other arm up, and you lean to your left. You put your head on the left cheek, and you have a really nice stretch. Good. Go up, and again, now we do the right arm underneath, stretch it. Very good. Okay, well, we are here. Another really good, like when we are set, especially for the setters, if you're setting quite a lot, it's really good to stretch your wrist. Good way to stretch your wrist is you do your cat, but you are turning your arms the other way. Just be gentle again. You need to listen to your body. And now you try to sit into your back, and that's where you feel a really, really good stretch. Again, thank you. Good. The other way, and this is, you have to be extra careful. You can do the same the other way. You just put a little bit of weight, little bit. Don't overdo it, very careful. And you just feel nice stretch. Don't put too much pressure on it. But that's a really that's alternative to our stretches. If you want to stretch this way or that way, okay? That's kind of alternative to that. But again, this is wonderful, especially if you spend a lot of time setting for the setters. And of course, your fingers as well. Okay? So we have 3 minutes. So I'm trying to see what would you like to do in the next 3 minutes. I'm nearly done. Would you be happy to finish and leave it at this stage?
Yeah, if you want to leave it there, Jana, we can do.
I think it was kind of nice.
Yeah, well, there was definitely a lot covered and a lot done in that. So maybe the 3-minute break is
we were effective this time because we managed to do a lot of stretching in maybe one pose. So we stretched, you know, hamstring and the arms and everything virtually in few poses. So we were very efficient this time.
Yeah, no, brilliant. I have to say, I'm very impressed, Jana, that you're able to do these exercises and still talk quite calmly and normally, because I know I couldn't, and I was on mute and I was breathing quite heavy, so I was quite impressed with that.
Well, thank you very much. I thought I was talking quite a lot, and I'm glad you can't see the pink face here. But I think it's really nice to be able to do it at the same time, not just talk through it, but do the exercise, because I know I can push a little bit more, or where I can take a little bit of breather as well. So again, I don't know the level of our participants, but I hope they find it challenging enough, but the most important, enjoying themselves. Because I mean, if they could look at the video and try to do the same workout again at least twice within the week, and maybe try to hold in those poses a little bit longer, or try to do another set of 10, let's say, and in that case you know, you can turn it into 45 minutes and make a really good workout out of it. And I find sometimes when I don't feel like doing exercise, switch on the song you like, something that, you know, when you're out and makes you want to dance. Just that one song is going to turn you into, actually, I'm going to do few exercises. It's not going to be long, just few minutes. And when you get into the rhythm, you realize, actually, I'm enjoying it. You did your work, you know, you did your warm up, and then you feel, I might do another half an hour or another few minutes. And you end up doing 45 minutes an hour workout without necessarily, you know, wanting. And it's a lovely way to get into exercise without necessarily forcing yourself. It's just one tip I find really, really useful, especially one of those rainy days when you really don't feel like exercising. But switch on that one song that's going to make you get up off the chair and, you know, try to do a few stretches, and then you'll be jumping up and down in no time.
Yeah, great advice. Great way to kind of motivate yourself, particularly when you don't want to. Yeah, stick on the song that's going to pump you up. And probably very important as well, you know, during this time to stay active, because exercise does make us feel good. It does make us happy. Even if you don't want to do it, like you said, stick on the song, have a little boogie, do a little bit of exercise, and you will feel good afterwards, which it is really important. So if you do want to see Jana's exercise workout again, this is recorded and we will circulate the video. We also have last week's video. So you heard her, do your exercises. So and what I really enjoyed, something that I learned during this as well, is the walking squat. Okay, I love squats, and I sometimes I find them easy, so I have to do a lot of them. But that walking squat, my legs are on fire, so I'm definitely going to take that away. So thanks very much, Jana, and we will see you next week for our next or for our third circuit. So just a quick, I suppose, recap of tonight then. So we had Gareth, a very talented young man, talking us through how he got into volleyball. He's captain of the under-21s national men's squad. So it was great to hear and get that insight. And also his training kind of regime, sticking out to the same team, trains 5 days a week, and then with the men's national squad under Andre and his management team, does some more weekend training. And it sounds like a very comprehensive schedule, but you know, very worthwhile. And also great to hear about his scholarship journey, and quite inspiring to think, you know, maybe our next scholar is here in this group with us as well. So yeah, keep dreaming, keep reaching for the stars. Next week we do have another very talented young lady. We have Maria Jones, who is the under-17s girls captain. Maria led the under-17s team as well to in a historic game against Iceland in the Faroe Islands in that competition a few years ago. So Connor's going to chat to her a bit about that. So tune in next week and hear all about that piece of Irish volleyball history that she was part of. Maria also plays with Closh and Moira Ennis, who, fun fact, are the current Senior A schools champion. So not only is she a talented player in the kind of national league and on the national front, but also in the schools team. Big thanks again to Vine Digital, who helped support us to make this program, and also to the young people who we consulted with to put this program together. These are all young people's ideas, and we just kind of pulled it together with the support of Vine Digital to make this happen for you. So unless there's anything for you to add, Connor, I think we're good to go this week.
Just thank you again for tuning in, and hopefully see you all again next Thursday, 6 p.m. That's all from me. Thanks.
Yeah, tell your friends, spread the word.